Have you ever searched for a job until you felt like you asked yourself, did someone jinx me? Have you? That was me in 2013. I arrived in Australia, I was new, and I thought, yes, with my degree from Kenya, with the experiences from Kenya, I'm gonna get a job. So when the children went to school, husband went to work, I was left alone in the house. I've never been a housewife in my life. So being at home alone, doing nothing, looking at the wall, I had to get myself busy. So I went online, Googled jobs. I saw some that I really wanted to work in, and one of them was something to do with HK group. So I applied, and after a while I called a person, and this person picked up the call, and I introduced myself, and I said, did you see my application? And she said, don't provide jobs. She asked me, how old are you? Then I was in my 30s, and she said, no, that is something for older people. This is for people from 55 and over. And I'm like, what was that? It says it was a festival for older people. I tried again. I applied for so many jobs. I got knocked off and continued applying. And there's this job that I called, and I asked them, did you see my application? And they said, yes, but do you have any Australian experience? And I said, no, I just came from Kenya the other day. They asked me, do you have any certificate from an Australian institution? I said, no. And they said, unfortunately, we can't employ you. You need to have Australian experience. That brings today to employment in Australia. My experience. Australia is one of the countries with employment opportunities, but in saying that, sometimes it is not easy. You have to work for it. Let's get started. Are you seeking to come to Australia for employment? Are you seeking to come and study in Australia? For you to get employed in Australia, of course, you have to get the right visa that has employment opportunities, be it in a student or skilled migrant. There are so many types of jobs in Australia. They are permanent, they are casual, they are contractual, and so many others. And in saying that, Australia is a very good country. Jobs are on merit, depending on your qualifications. And they have good perks in the sense that some jobs are on shift. So some of those shifts attract penalties and good pay. Skills at Australia allows students or people from overseas to go online and put in their experiences, certificates, so that they can be assessed for jobs that may be required through skilled migration in Australia. Australia provides both permanent, temporary, and contractual jobs, among others. The jobs that are in demand, according to Victoria University currently in Australia, include things like nursing, software developers, building and construction managers, jobs like retail, like disability, like hospitality, that is a bit available for people who arrived in Australia recently. The pay is ranges between $30 to $45 per hour. That's about 70 to 75. I'm not sure. I'm not good at the math, but it's about 70 to $75,000 per year. So you will find that when you come from another country, you migrate from your country to another country, I'll say in this case Australia, you will find that it's not always easy to penetrate into the market, and you always do a job that is not related to your area of study until you get your footing and you grow in your career. I would say it's good to, when you get your visa, it's good to look at the visa. The government keep on changing. There are restrictions that are coming in, there are openings that are coming in. It's good to look at your visa, what is provided in your visa. I did not come as a student, but according to the student friends that I talk to, a given amount, a certain amount of hours to work. For example, a fortnight maybe can be 40 hours, or that maybe that's changed. It's limited hours in working. You don't work like a permanent resident here or a citizen. No, they are restricted according to your visa. So you have to look at your visa and know what is required for you before you come. So you look at how many hours if you get that job. Saying that you have to train for that, you have to do a certificate either in individual care, you have to do certificate in disability, you have to do maybe food handling certificate, and tailor-made certificates to the areas like retail, to the areas like hospitality. You always, in Australia, you just don't go in and do the job. you have to train for that industry for you to go into it. You have to get references, either from overseas or from here, to provide references for you to get a job. The reason why people come to Australia and settle in Australia is because there's multiculturalism. There's so many people here from different parts of the world. I used to say Australia has made me to travel the world even if I've not gone there physically. There are so many races here. There are people from Asia. There are people from Africa. There are people from the UK. There are people from America. There are people from Chile. There are people from Russia. There are all types of people. Australians migrate to Africa. Americans migrate to Australia. Australians migrate to the UK. People migrate. It has been there during time immemorial up to now. The goodness that I like in Australia is the weather. The weather is just so nice. It might be a bit extreme from the cold, might be a bit extreme, but you cannot compare it to other countries like the UK, the US, where there is snow. There's no snow in Australia, at least in Melbourne where I am. The weather can be a bit up to it can go up to 3 degrees and sometimes -1 on occasion, but it is just right. You can survive in it. And during summer, it's also another extreme of hot weather. Like yesterday, we had about 38 to 40 degrees for 2 days. And in our houses, there is inbuilt cooling system. There is inbuilt heating system for the cold season. And at workplaces also, we are provided with coffee and tea so that you can have a drink and to re-energize you to continue working. We are given half an hour break. Everybody is entitled to that. If your hours are exceeding 5 hours, you have half an hour break every time. And of course, like with any industry, there's always challenges that come with it. For example, when I came to Australia, when I started my job in aged care, I found it so difficult to shower an elderly man, because in my culture we are not supposed to see an elderly man naked. At least for women, I am a woman and I grew up with my mom, I understand, but for the men it was a bit difficult. There's that respect between being a younger person and showering an elderly person. But then in saying that, the industry definitely will equip you with the skills and the knowledge that you need to do. Sometimes the jobs can be challenging, but good employers provide EAP. It's like a counseling kind of service for free. You can talk to those people. They will walk you in. It provides you kind of a therapy, and it really helps. My takeaway today is, if you are overseas and you're planning to come to Australia on a visa that provides you the opportunity to work, be aware that jobs are there, they are in plenty, but the market is very competitive. It will take time, or might take time, for you to get a job.